Dr. Charles Sophy is a psychiatrist specializing in adolescence and the medical director of the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services. And Michelle Callahan is a developmental psychologist. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
I'm a parent of 3 teens. These are tough areas to navigate, especially sex. Doctor, where do you even start that conversation?
You have to start the conversation. That's the point. And so if you're not comfortable, figure out why you're not comfortable and try to unhook yourself from the situation as a parent. Take the emotion out and allow yourself to talk to your child and hear them. Let them talk. Try not to react so that they feel safe.
Well, all of these kids said is up to the parents to initiate the conversation, but what if you have a child who doesn't want to talk about it, that shuts down, then what do you do?
Well, Facebook, email, text your child. I mean, there are different ways to approach your child that may be less threatening, that maybe open those lines up.
But you shouldn't give up, no matter what. You have to stay focused and keep going.
But I ask these kids, there's a fine line between having a discussion and condoning, and you don't want to send that message.
No, you should be clear with them about what you don't agree with and what you don't want them to do, but don't think that talking about it means condoning it.
Right.
You have to keep the dialogue going. If you think, if we talk about this, you think I think it's okay, then you shut the conversation down, and you can't let that happen.
Right. Just because you're sitting there with your child doesn't mean you give them permission. You're giving them permission that you love them. You're sending a message, I'm listening to you, I'm here to help you.
If your child says to you, look, you know what, I want to try a drink, I want to smoke some marijuana, whatever it is, should you say to the child, okay, but in our house, where at least they are safe? What do you do if the kid says, I don't care what you say, Mom or Dad, I'm going to try this, I'm a teenager, we experiment?
It's an open dialogue. Start a discussion. See, because half of the time they're just trying to test you. And if they really do want to do it, then you have an open dialogue about what is safe. You give them the parameters, the things you will accept, and the things that are not acceptable about it.
The 2 of you have come up with 3 tips for parents. The first one is hear the kids out. In other words, dialogue. You're not lecturing.
No,
Please.
you want to let them talk, and don't interrupt them. Keep your emotions under control. This is their chance to talk, so don't jump in and start judging. Let them finish the story, because they're going to give you details and tell you lots of things that you'll never know if you start jumping in.
Right. Think of it as a basketball game. You throw the ball back to them all the time, and when they have the ball, that's when they're talking.
You also say gauge how they feel and tailor the conversation depending on their emotions at the moment.
Right. If you're horrified by what they're saying, they're going to just maybe shut down. They're going to pull back. Try not to react. Remember, you're a teen, your adolescent is a human being. They have feelings. They have brains. They work. Let them emote. Let them express.
And then you say to share information. What kind of sharing are you talking about?
Well, you want to share all the risks and what things they should be looking out for, but you also want to talk to them about the wider context. Talk to them about relationships. Talk to them about the context in which you feel peer pressure to do drugs. So they understand not just this is what's going to go wrong, but this is how I know you're feeling pressured, and these are some strategies you can use when you get yourself in that situation.
Right. And remember, just because your child has a negative reaction to you doesn't mean they don't love you, that they don't want to hear what you have to say. That's who they are. They're reacting. But you stay calm, stay focused.
Should you tell your child if you took drugs as a teenager or you had sex? Is that something you should share with your child?
Well, I think it's all depending on how comfortable you are as an adult of what you did and how forthcoming and forthright you want to be. But you also don't want to give them that permission to do it. But remember, you're human, they were human, they need to know you're human.
But they're also saying, these kids are all saying, it's going to happen no matter what the conversation is.
It's going to happen. So open-minded, be a parent, listen, reach to your child, allow them to emote.
And know that even if they don't appreciate it now and they seem like they're pushing back, they will eventually appreciate the time that you spent trying to teach them.
All right, Dr. Charles Sophy and Michelle Callahan, thank you both very much for your perspective. And tomorrow morning, what our teens are really up to when they're online. But up next, a surprising skinny on salads. Which would you rather?